True. We're the AC-11 crew. We came in today from Montreal.
Yep.
I have this thing when I get jet lagged that I get really cold, so I'm just holding on to a coffee strictly to stay warm.
That's the only reason, right?
Nah, I'm also kind of tired.
That's okay. I mean, I think we have a good reason. We landed. I took a shower. You kind of smell. But now we're here for some Counter-Strike, Matt.
No one can smell me through their computers, Scotty. You didn't have to, like, throw me under the bus there. You could have just not said anything.
I kind of had to.
All right,
I felt the need.
Fine.
Got to get my jabs in when I can.
Okay.
Once this game starts, I don't think I'll be able to keep up. So.
Well, I don't know if any of us will be able to. This one's going to be an interesting one. Certainly, the similarities of sort of having a Smooya that carried, I wouldn't say carried, I don't think he did it alone, but certainly was a large part of the push in Cologne last year for Big. Now you've got Zaiwu, who's the similar story, young Opper, French, English, there always seems to be a counter there, and is playing exceptionally well. In fact, better than I think Smooya ever was. No offense to Smooya, but this is just unbelievable from him in terms of statistics. They mentioned the Simple comparison. You can't really compare it to Simple, but nonetheless, the stats are there.
Stats are there, and so is the pistol. It is time to start, and it is Big to the T side, so we had a little back and forth on the desk. But of course, they were going to choose the CT side to start. Nice and comfortable here late in Shanghai, but also a little antsy. Alex going to get aggressive down Monster. He's got a teammate with him who is dealt with quickly. Alex has to reload, and it costs him. There's the opening to the B side if they want to charge. NBK going down opens it wide for them, though. Apex floating, also just a victim to the taps.
Yeah, unbelievable entrances so far. They did mention, good shot back. Here we go. Zaiwu, 1-on-3. Already gets the first of 4 down. Doesn't have a kit to work with, but already inside of the site has some time. Smoke on his right. Wants to try and cover off. He's actually looking to make sure there's no utility to pick up. In fact, gets the kit away by his teammate, but Zontara's already ready. They mentioned Zontara's on the desk, just to point out. Obviously, you're coming into a structured team and you have a guy like Gobby leading it, probably one of the most structured in-game leaders, not just now, but of all time in Counter-Strike. That's not necessarily true that they were implementing him that way. We'll see if that's changed. I think it's certainly something that needs to. But when they first brought him onto the team, they actually kind of just said, go.
Yeah.
Just play, and we'll figure it out around you. And I don't know that I agree with that on this team.
Yeah, it's more so their style changed as opposed to his. So a fresh-faced Big. And a well-equipped one as well. That AK-47 on Zontara's in and of itself can be deadly. You strap some MAC-10s to the remainder of the team, and they're all good to rock and roll. I did like that setup from Vitality in the pistol. Sure, you had 2 players pushing Monster, but NBK was inside of the bomb site, so even if things went badly, which they did, there could have been a line of defense. Of course, it was all torn straight through, and an inkling that there could be more members inside this B bomb site. Tizian. He's going to be laying down that utility as the players swarm closer. So much presence down here in the water that, sure enough, 2 players get caught off guard. It's still Tizian up.
I think they had to commit because the bomb was lost. They had to go in. They couldn't fall off of it, even with 2 players left. So the kill, the stack it immediately under Catwalk. That single kill on the entrance, the 3rd man, bomb went down. That was it. That's all they could do. And it goes to show, I mean, it's a gamble to stack, obviously, early game, but getting over toward the B site, it's not as open. It's not as linear. You can play the close angles, and it works perfectly for Team Vitality. I kind of agree with Thorn. I think this veto, these 3 maps, they're going to be comfortable on all of them.
100%.
And even with the weapons, still leading off with 4 players over toward the B site. So watch for them to be aggressive and continuously try and push up in toward water. That's rather evidence. NBK, therefore, on A. Can't sit back, can't be passive, needs to go aggressive, get smoked out, gets information. Tizian already inside of the underpass is going to make it very difficult to rotate back around. But once they establish position, they are going to rotate Apex back over to the site. I'm curious to see, I mentioned this in casting with Henry a few times. A lot of teams that'll double push out toward middle and then rotate back through A. I think you should push a B player from that position if you're going to do it, because then you can rotate your A player back over after. So watch to see if the setup changed based on rotations. Good shot, MBK. Scouts over top of Flower, clean headshot.
Vitality having not seen anything towards the B site. Very happy to start rotating their way backwards. It's going to be Apex alone for the moment. But that's 3 out of 3 rounds for Vitality. Have that heavy B presence at the start. We've seen them explore out through Monster. This time it was inside of Short, where they did find no one for their efforts. But here comes Apex back 10 in hand, spraying down nearly 2 players, but Tizian gets the best of him, just barely. Low health, 22 points combined between him and Xanteras. That frag could be huge had it hit the mark, but it finds Nex instead. So that's 3 softened targets and an eventual execution here as we hit that 30-second mark. Unfortunately, only the MAC-10 retrieved. You know, best efforts thrown down by Big, and they have yet to reap the benefits. Zaiwu posted that retrieved AK, which once was in the hands of Xanteras, finds itself in the hands of another talented youngster. So there you have it, 2 kills for him, and the third's all too easy. Once they were softened up, it was a matter of time. That's Vitality with 2.
And importantly, denying the bomb plant, because we're in the crucial stages still for money at this point. You give a bomb plant another $800, Tabson's at range to buy an AWP, potentially toss that over. So that limits them slightly. Still, AK is available. And they'll go back to them as Vitality takes the lead. CT side, watch the aggression again. So that time it was a 4 over toward B with a rotation back on A. The scout from MBK got a headshot plus a tag. You mentioned it, softening them up, but now that the guns are different, I imagine the call of action will be as well, and it's Zaiwu that we expect to see over toward A more commonly, given with the AK-47 this time, but we'll have the AWP. That's where you want to be on the map. Still seeing some AUGs.
Yeah, they float.
They'll be around.
They're not gone just yet. I mean, you know, our eyes have been opened, Matt.
I mean, forget AUGs. That's not even the most shocking change the devs have made this year.
Yeah, you want to, I'm feeling Vertigo?
Vertigo, my goodness, like, of all the maps you could have picked, like, okay. I mean, I'm open to change, don't get me wrong, but holy moly, I don't know that I would have expected Vertigo to be the one picked in.
Yeah.
This is smart. Xanteras knows they were out toward long, knows that they can see that position, but gets caught off timing everything. Goffy gets the shot, scoped in on the AUG. Once more. Smoke down. Xanteras nowhere to go. He actually died to a flashbang hitting him.
No, that's the flash assist.
Oh, assist, right. Sorry.
Yeah.
There we go. More
Talking
coffee.
about changes, Matt. Talking about changes.
I know. Yes, plus fast assist. All right.
Surely they get rid of that eventually, though, right? I mean, I'm not one of those advocates for it. I think it's cool if your team can see it. I think it's great as us from the observing side.
Yes, but it gives away a lot of information.
Yeah, and I'm not about that.
I do agree with that, especially if you have, like, it doesn't even need to tell you how many players are there. It just needs to tell you who's there.
Yeah, that's so much.
If you have, like, a constant B player throw a flash on A all of a sudden, you're like, well, hang on a minute.
Hold your horses. But don't hold your grenades. Thrown over the top of the playground to find both Xanteras and Tabson. You know, a little chip damage, a warning sign. NBK puffs his chest and then walks back. He is that solo A player for the moment. So we've got Vitality, what seems now like 4 out of 5, if not all of these rounds, going for early B presence. Very wary of that hard push, but it's going to be Big back into the default. And NBK, despite dodging all these grenades, well, he's not going to shy off just yet. Sticks around a bit longer. Flashbang doesn't hit the mark, but the shots sure do. Xanteras has that opening for Big, and they're going to work this 5v4 as Apex gets into position.
Awkward smoke from T side. That'll Goffy up behind the flowers, though, and it catches out this time in his favor. Apex jumping up. Last time, remember, he found Goffy with a nade in hand, but Zaiwu close enough on the AWP, and he wants a little bit more. Will he get it? Oh my goodness, you'd expect that he would. As they fell off, unfortunately, he was not accounting for the fact the second player was inside of the bathrooms. It's Xanteras as RPK has to hold the lines very passively with the AUG. In fact, rotation already going back over toward B, and rightly so. As the bomb heads that direction, they've got enough information. Why wouldn't it? Mid-round calls win games.
There you go. Excellently done by Tizian. Finds that opening to the B site. And I mean, this is Big, maybe recognizing the fact Vitality are going heavy on B early, so you've got to get them off it. You need to give them a reason to rotate upwards. If NBK is afforded all that space inside of bathrooms for the opening minute, then they're never gonna leave. They'll dig their boots deep, and they will hold the line, but make them shaky. And sure enough, Tizian finds a wide open B bomb site for the taking. So there you go, Big with a second on the board, and Vitality strapped for cash. They'll have some sprinkled all across, but all is fine in both camps for the time being. What's it going to take to get Vitality off that B site early? Could this half force buy really do it? Just the 2 limited pistol players and NBK and Zaiwu. This screams to me like when you give Zeus the AK but give Simple the P250. You know, what's Zaiwu doing in that CZ?
Sometimes the weird thing is the confidence that brews within the players that are the stars. They'll just say, I'll do it with the pistol. You guys take the guns. Go ahead. T-side, you can justify it as well, because if he's not the entry fragger, you want to let someone try and enter, pick up the gun on the way through. But CT, it's a little bit more, I guess, ominous to try and spread the wealth and get the guns in positions. MBK already gone. And Zantaras will follow it to find Alex.
Yeah, I'm ready to eat my words here.
Watch. If he swings, he let it go. I thought he might try and deny the planter.
Still close enough for some damage, and maybe one back.
Got greedy for the gun.
Yeah.
Greed will kill you. Just ask Thorin. Oakenshield, not Dunkenshield. I watched all 3 Hobbits today on the plane.
All 3? Did you fall asleep once?
For like an hour and a half at the start, maybe 2. Time to watch 5 movies on that plane. It was a good one. It was a doozy. Did you watch any?
I remember I forgot to sign into Netflix, so I lost all my films.
We were on a plane with an entertainment system.
Yeah.
There was like 100 movies
I started
on
watching Anthropocene, and then Anthropocene. I don't know. It was all too depressing, Matt. It put me right to sleep.
Oh, well, that's perfect then for a plane.
Yeah, it was. But it was the thoughts of Counter-Strike that kept me going. Luckily, Shanghai studded in lights.
Yes, you've not been here. You've been to Hong Kong and you've been to Taiwan, but not Shanghai.
No, sir.
It's a cool city.
I'm excited for it. We went airport, hotel, work. And so doing work is that USP. My goodness, NBK, 97 points of damage and almost the spam to find Zantaras. They've got them kind of boxed over towards this B site. And sure enough, this is it. This is finally where Vitality don't have players within B. Sure, they have this head stack in the back. RPK laying down some damage furthermore, but no openings just yet.
Good backside boost.
Oh my god.
Doesn't open you up to the left side as much, means that you can focus your target without being spotted from an off angle, but nice Molotov counters off. In fact, gets both. RPK went down. Alex couldn't get away. That's a bit of a mistake. They didn't need to commit that much time inside of it when they still have Apex on the site. Zaiwu, he'll chime in as well. Bomb down, dropped inside of the pit. I'm not sure he's aware of that fact, though. Smokes himself in, expecting perhaps a flank, and had he known the bomb went down, may have elected to get a little more aggressive on an angle. Flash behind. 41 seconds.
So heavily banking that no one would push him in that time, and why would they? They want that bomb plant. Flare down to the pit, now spotted on the site. He's taking damage, and sure enough, that's all it's going to take to get him out of there.
Yeah, and he definitely didn't know the bomb went down there. He would have played that very differently, I think, at that point in time, knowing that they had to commit to grab it. So, tough position to spot from, but easily could have held the angle more aggressively. Either way, didn't have the information, and Big go back in the lead. Remember, they won the pistol, but got shut down immediately after by Vitality. 2 AUGs at play, just to note. And 1 A1S. That's a change that I welcome with open arms. More ammo for that baby. Let's go.
You think it'll be enough? Just that extra 5 shots, the difference?
I think there was players that were on the fence before, and now they've just had that little bit of encouragement to go back to it and give it a try. Long term's always another thing to call, but yeah, I think it could be enough. And then now we're really opening up the CT side for options.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you've got situational weapons. A4, A1, yeah, let's go. I'm down.
We've got 6 primary weapons sprinkled across this buy. They do say variety is the spice of life.
They also say it's like a box of chocolates.
Ooh.
And I don't like spicy chocolates.
I don't blame you.
Zantaras will take out NBK. That's the start again to the big side. Zaiwu plays one and done. Truck side position inside of the side. Has to be very careful of this. Has backup, though. They've already started to rotate toward the window, just down below, able to swing from either bomb site should they need to do so. And as we can see, he looks busy. Zaiwu tagged as well through the wall. Thankfully, for his sake, it was through a rather thick wall because he stays with 59 HP.
Ooh, next takes his head. Alex, he's going to be able to trade that one. Apex curious towards long. Unfortunately for him, walks into the scope of the Opper. And Alex, well, he's walking around this bomb site, making a ruckus. Giving away cues, but the T's hold strong. And then Vitality's gone, down to the B bomb site. Both players, in fact, just hoping for that late execute. That's what we had seen Big do. Apply pressure to that A site, snuff out NBK, who has been inside of bathrooms, aggressively positioned. He's always that front runner. There tends to be players behind him, sure enough, and this time Big will find out that there is no one left over. Vitality having gone down to the B bomb site, either to A, preemptively get ahead of an execution that they thought would come their way, or B, enable the save. Either way, they've got themselves 2 weapons at the end of this. 4 members up for Big, and no longer 4 rounds, but 5. 2-point lead and a spree on top of it all. Nice little comeback here on the offense.
Yeah, looking super solid, I have to say. ZywOo again. Playing over toward the A site, doing what he can, but gets caught out early. Gets taken down. They trade it. Can't do anything with it. They've got to save the guns, keep an AUG in the hands.
It's been NBK inside of the bathrooms. You know, he's this kind of he's the red flag, so to say.
Bathrooms are such like an important position on this map. People don't give them enough credit. Rain, Fur, those guys are the masters of it, and one of the reasons being is that they don't actually get caught there ever. They don't overcommit to fights. They don't peek unnecessarily.
Yeah.
If they do, they have someone immediately able to trade with them. That was something that even you go back to 2015, Fnatic was amazing at on this map. Push bathrooms, always have a cross set, so like if one guy's in the front of bathrooms, the other guy's ready to peek out from the connector. If one guy's pushed out long A, the other guy's waiting at the flower pots. They were just so good at trading on the A side. But if you watch Fur and Rain, they do the opposite. They let one player play for information and then pull them in, bait them back.
Right.
Fallen's the one that often does it for Fur, just lures them in, and he just sits and waits and just plays sound cues and information, and he's in a great position to try and push down into this position, the underpass, later on when they go B. So it's really viable if it's played right.
Yeah, this is one of the first rounds where we actually see some heavy connector presence out of Vitality. It is in one of these little half-buy situations, though, just like last time. You know, we had 3 players pushing long A. Anytime there's been a difference in the A setup from Vitality, it's not on the full-fledged buy round. But we'll see if they can draw them into Alex. He is standing on top of the shelving down in connector, has that angle towards party. And ZywOo looking to rope them in. Nexus managed to get past, but it's then that Alex strikes. Xantera is the first casualty of the round, and while Alex occupies himself at the top of the staircase, we still have that dangerous Nova on NBK.
He's forward of the smoke, though. Tizian might have a chance to catch them off next. He's going to get NBK back. Nova can't do anything with it.
Knows there's another.
I'm surprised Tizian didn't commit to that. He knew the smoke was thrown out beyond him and just couldn't find enough toward the barrels nonetheless. This position could change everything. If they rotate back around, they check for him. They knew he was there earlier on from a kill, but gets a second, in fact, third, in the round with the reload. Eventually gives himself up to Tapson. Still, though, man advantage with 27 seconds, and they've rotated over toward B. Molotov's confirmed they're on that side of the map, and more importantly, Bomb has no time to go back over. They've pushed out in front of A to make sure of that, but still shots need to be hit. 14 seconds. Bomb's coming in from short. It's got to be cut off. That's exactly what they want to do, but he gets taken down in the end. RPK, he went for it. He tried his absolute best. Tizian manages just to stay alive, and they try to spray through, but he'll stay in the end all the way up on 12 HP. Wow. They knew what they had to do. They knew that if they got the bomb down, they could have won the rounds.
Yep, it's entirely why they went all in on that. That's why they unload all of their utility just to get that entry. And RPK, given a chance at spraying down the bomb carrier, just the kill in and of itself would have won the round. There would not have been time to retrieve it and plant. ZywOo's flank even comes in so fast, but bomb plants in cover, of course. And as he charges forward, just trying to win the round on time, he exposes himself to that other player standing inside of short. And now we get the quadruple head boost. Oh, the totem pole has fallen.
Totem fail?
Yeah. Total fail.
We're going all the levels here. They're not going on to the 4th level, though. Oh, no. Sorry, Tabson.
All right.
Okay, all right. You know what? Just fool me once, shame on you. Fool everyone, and you still get the kill. That's not a saying.
You could try to make it one, but I don't think it'll catch.
Nah, don't worry about it. The point is, sometimes luck's just on your side. Still, though, they're 1-1. Traded back immediately. ZywOo, the one to do so. AWP on the CT side. Haven't seen it a lot because they were first holding on to their money. Remember, he had the AK that was on the CT side, so there's no need to get rid of an AK. You want to keep that headshot potential. By the time that you would have liked to see him upgrade to the AWP, their money was already ripped apart again. So let's see if he can make good on it this time. And as mentioned, typically speaking, he's going to be over toward A with it. They changed it up mid-round now because they want to try and have him sort of overwatch on the B side for the window. Alex somehow gets across so much utility, but they knew what his plan was all along. Whether they caught a glimpse or they just knew exactly what that flashbang meant, it now falls to ZywOo. And he's inside of the site, but he's got 2. Bomb goes down, teammate helps him out, and Apex and MBK close it out for Vitality.
Beautifully done by ZywOo, just popping up behind the barrels, burning all the while, and yet still he kept it cool, calm, and collected. Shuts it down on the monster exit. The flashbangs were fantastic there for Big. I mean, you saw Alex first, blinded entirely as he tried to hop over to the other side of Monster. I mean, even using his own flashbang in the midst of this, and still it did not deter Big at all. They pushed through until they found ZywOo, who forcibly stopped them.
And that's a smart rotation, right? As we say, we know the op's going to want to play. It's going to want to play default on A. That's typical. That's traditional. Double op used to be prevalent. Not so much anymore. You want to be a little more, I guess, dynamic in the B site than just trying to pick toward the monster. He committed. They rotated over after those early picks. He knew the op was on that side of the map, and he just said, I'm going. And he got in behind the barrels. That was super good. Super sick to hit the second shot as well. Not a lot of movement left with the Molotov down, as it were, to his right. So I think that's what defines oppers. I hate to single out Draken. So much skill at times. And, hey, got one of the coolest plays ever on B side at Mirage. Beautiful 1 versus 3. He's had a lot of pressure moments, but oftentimes that's where he misses. World Edit's another one. That's when he misses. ZywOo seems to never miss in those situations. Yep. That's what makes him elite over top of even the world class.
See if we can do it again. Not in position, but Alex sure is. Just kind of tucked away in the corner. Bit of a gremlin-y play in that one. Catching Tizian and forcing Big elsewhere. They're going to charge headstrong into long, where they do find ZywOo, but his shot not able to take down a body. Next drop to about half. A reposition of the op in an attempt to catch someone in washrooms, where sure enough Big will now have to clear. Not opting to go all in on long, but rather wanting to pinch. This will take time, especially if we have Vitality's members amidst this portion of the map. And sure enough, cutting them down one after another is ZywOo. Another peek, another frag. And like you said, he just doesn't miss.
No, he doesn't. Okay, well, sometimes he doesn't even have a chance to fire the shot because Gabi just absolutely obliterates him, unfortunately. Job done at that point in time. Next goes down. ZywOo even getting damage on that earlier. Yep. Going to bring Vitality back to 5. Big still in a comfortable position. I shouldn't say... All right, hang on. Context of the game, comfortable position. Context of this round, they are not, because they don't have any money this particular time. But 6 rounds already T-side isn't the worst thing in the world, so they've got something to work with. Round 12, take the eco on the chin. They did buy out some pistols because I think it was Gabi that had 4K. Didn't quite catch who had one at the start of that. I think one of them did. I think it was either Gabi or Nex. So they can afford to do that. They'll build up this bonus now. But there's still time yet to find more gun rounds toward the end of the half. ZywOo, there it is, the aggressive play on A. We knew it was coming. Counter it, though. Oof. Counter it's not a bad way to try and go. You know they're going to retreat after finding the op shot. That's normal, so swing out from the stairs. Bomb down, though, and ZywOo, he's just going to buy time and space on top of it, but he's got to be careful of time and space to his right because it's been shifted in Gabi's favor as Apex at least holds the line. Next, good shot. 1 versus 1.
Damn.
It's a 1 versus 2, but it was a 1 versus 1 because they were so distant. He actually had that isolated. He could have got a gun and made that a real round.
Yeah, I love the push there. Just screw the bomb, go and catch that rotator. Almost has RPK's head, in which case would have been a valiant 1v3 attempt. Nice little bit of aggression there from Vitality. You know, coming into this, when I saw Big starting to add rounds to the board, my big question mark remained on their A setups. You know, NBK and Bathrooms was getting stale. Since then, we had that setup inside of Connector on the force buy. We've had an aggressive play off the anti-eco.
I think the big key in that is, like, NBK was getting caught a lot when ZywOo didn't have the op on A.
Yep.
As soon as he got it out, they went back to more of a default, a more traditional, all right, op can go aggressive, and then NBK plays more passive, although it's like a lot in the underpass, which isn't as normal. Shotgun again. He's just trying to do anything he can. Needs to soften them up, and just maybe a few pelts will hit them in the back. Pelts. Shells.
Pellets.
Pellets.
Pellets in shells.
Pellets in shells. What's that? What's the other?
Slugs.
Not slugs, but there's also...
buckshot.
All right, gun specialist over here. Jesus. Sergeant Scrawny.
It's rural Canada, man. You should know. Here comes the trade frags inside. The B site bomb dropped in the midst of it all, and it is ZywOo who was not given too many targets. He still has 1 kill, of course.
Aren't you on West Island?
No, I live in Montreal now. But
because I'm rural. I'm like the Maritimes.
Yeah. Yeah, you have the rural province. I'm from a rural town.
Okay, all right.
Now I'm a city slicker.
Way to go, Montreal.
I've also never shot a shotgun, but nobody knew that unless I had admitted it.
I think yeah, I have. I did in Krakow last year. Me, Anders, and Paula.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can Paula pick up a shotgun?
Yes, surprisingly. You know, it was funny because Anders was like dead-eyed dick with the pistol, just absolutely nailing every shot. AK-47, same thing. He picked up the shotgun. I've never seen someone miss an entire target with a shotgun. Like, not even any of the, like, pelts, whatever you said, pellets went anywhere near it. He just completely missed it. He beat us in the target score overall, but just the shotgun completely missed. I was like, how is that even possible?
Now I'm just picturing Anders holding a Glock sideways, popping headshots on a target. I wouldn't be surprised.
He's not bad, man. He was like straight headshots all day long.
If there's anyone who can wield a Glock, I feel like it would be him.
Well, no one this round will need to wield one because we've got full guns again for Big, as mentioned, timing out at 6-7. They still have the lead and now can capitalize further because Zywoo starts to get creative, unfortunately for him. He's got a few people expecting that door to be open and we're staring down the short pipe. And they're going to rotate back off this as well. This is smart. They know that Zywoo is gone. Two things. One, thin out the defense, but two, he rotated over from A. He's normally over there with the AWP. Now they can start to take map control. Now they can start to push the defense back. Which, that's the theory.
Yeah.
Little do they know they've already done that just by taking down the op. There's really no one being aggressive on A.
NBK going to be happy to sit back, relax. Doesn't have a smoke. Using just the incendiary and frag grenade. We've got Vitality getting curious inside of short B. Eventually, that's either going to opt for one of their players to rotate all the way back off of B or go on the aggressive flank. But even a proactive flank here won't catch anybody. This is a curious situation. We've got NBK re-aggressing inside of the washrooms, but all the while, the entirety of Big, other than Tizzy and the Anchor, are coming down from long. So it's going to be close proximity on this bomb site. Apex may not understand how many players are actually here because the numbers are strong. And the first kill belongs to NBK, so the attention's drawn away for Apex to activate. He's got two players that could easily line up, and they're just sandwiched. They're skewered, and they're screwed. 3 kills immediately for Vitality, and we're tied apiece at 7.
That's going to bring the money back down once more. No bomb plant, but there's still enough residual for both Zantares and Nex. Pretty good triangle setup. Just enough time as well with the smoke and the Molotov to get in behind the truck, and that pretty much screwed them because they had nowhere to dance around. And the second player back at the bank, they had all facets covered off. So 7-7 last round. Oh, no. Why?
Sacré bleu.
Why have you done this? RPK's been knifed already.
Who's the culprit? We'll never know.
He's trying everything. He's got to be careful to get away here. RPK gone as well. Remember, although an AK got him, it wasn't a headshot. And he was down to 78 before that fight even began. Alex traded out by Tabson, not before we get some exchanges either way. And Zywoo's actually going to get Tabson back with an 8. So everything's going back and forth. Zywoo stays alive on 75 despite missing that shot on Monster. No span came through to hold him in place because of how much aggression there was towards short. That's aggression that's not required.
That's a big one, too. I mean, that B site is so wide open. And next, he's already confirmed that there's players on the A site, too. So at what point do they pull the trigger? They've got time to wait.
And they've got a smoke and 2 flashes as well on Zantares. Who's over toward B, where the bomb is? So, yeah, they can definitely execute on this. And they might want to use that smoke on entry. Try and make sure Zywoo's vision is very, very limited. Previous existing smoke on top of the site is already gone. This round should go Big's way. I mean, strictly based on the fact that there was an overextension on B. Surprisingly, though, they haven't really taken advantage of the map control. Like you say, Nex had information that NBK was over here. Didn't really do much with it. In fact, he's going to call them. Perhaps he heard the rotation going the other way as well. That would be beneficial. I didn't catch how close he was when NBK decided to run out of the site. Runs back in. Nex has the shot anyway. 1-on-2. Zywoo to do it all. Knows bombs being planted. 10 seconds. Whoa,
wow.
He got there, but not enough of the shots. to take down the planter, and now he's got all the work to do because it's still a 1-on-2, and they're both firmly looking his direction. It's 8-7, so close to pulling that into a 1-on-1.
Yeah, so close in the 1v1, and so close is what you can say about this half. I mean, back and forth at the start of it, and in the end, that 1 point difference, just barely. But it belongs to Big. They're going to have an advantage starting off their CT side. And what do we chalk this up to? I mean, incredible plays by Zywoo. We saw some high-pressure shots from him. Alex as well, getting in the midst of things, getting aggressive on short, being used inside of connector as kind of a protection to NBK. NBK really just trying to set up players more than anything throughout this half, whether that be on his forward A setups, down inside connector with the shotguns in multiple rounds. But at the end of the day, it's still Big, and most notably Nex at the top of the German scoreboard. Adding frags to the tally. But now we switch over. And again, we talked about the statistics of overpass having recently been favoring Vitality in this matchup. So let's see what they have prepared for us. They said they didn't prepare specifically for this event.
I kind of agree with Maniac, though. If you've played 75 officials,
you should be ready.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nature of the beast these days. Everyone plays, okay, not 75, but a lot of officials. These guys are in a precarious position because they had to go through the grind. They had to go through open qualifiers, minors, round of 24, round of 16, all the way in the major. And then you have the fact that they're also playing a lot of online matches to qualify for other existing tournaments that they wouldn't have had guaranteed and granted spots toward. There's no more. Well, I shouldn't say there is no more. FPL's still predominantly online. That's on, or not FPL, excuse me. ECS, Faceit League, the official league, not the Pug one. ECS is underway, but then obviously you've got EPL that switched over to a LAN system. They won't be part of that straight away. There's a lot of games to be played when you're in the position of not being an Astralis or a Liquid who's already qualified or invited to most of those events. You've got to do all the legwork down below as well.
Heavy lifting.
Heavy lifting, yeah, big time. I mean, that's why for a team like Big, who had an incredible run and got to a Legends position in Krakow and then carried that over, they've now lost that and have to go back to the minor. They are now in a position where in the future they're going to be playing a lot more games, and there's a lot more pressure on those games because if you don't maintain your top 8 spot at a major, if you don't maintain some of the upper echelons of CS and some of those bigger tournaments, others aren't going to consider inviting you.
Right.
It is a knock-on effect of being at the top all the time. That's how you're going to be at other events.
Yeah, look what Ence's performance have done for them already. Right?
Well, that's the perfect example the other way. Exactly. You know, you go to Blast Pro, now you're here. Suddenly you're on everyone's radar. I mean, it's out of sight, out of mind, unfortunately. It's very, very easily forgotten when you're not playing all the time and at the top level.
Funny enough, Ence obviously the reigning champions of StarSeries.
It's a good point.
Sergey the last MVP.
Yep, that's absolutely true. Rated number 3 in the world. I mean, the major has a huge weighting factor on that, and there wasn't a whole lot of events leading up to it, but still impressive nonetheless. And I would put them somewhere probably in the top 5 right now just based on the major performance. Tizian, he's going to try and hold off inside pillar. Apex is not quite aware that he's there, but he's got to swing now. Good timing on the flash. He'll find him fully blinded as Gabi threw that in for him, but RPK gets him back, not for long. So Antares holds it off. It's 2 pistols to Big.
Yeah, that was a slow play from Vitality, just inching their way forward with the map control, get into short, burst the B bomb site, but it was within the smokes, within the flashbangs that they end up losing their lives. Really just Tizian, the big difference maker working around that pillar, popping bodies, making the most of those minute moments where he knew he could take effect. Nice to see teammates supporting one another down on that B bomb site. Things can get hectic real quick. Last round's a prime example of it. Frag deep. Ooh, poor RPK. If it's not a teammate's knife, it's an early frag.
Yeah.
Dropping him to 38 this time, but
poor guy.
So quickly already pushing forward towards the bathrooms, running into the MP7 of Gob and the Scout of Tabson. There's the bomb gifted over, and it doesn't seem as though Vitality are going to find much in this round, if anything at all. Not a single point of damage dished back the other way.
Tabson trying to do what he can. He doesn't have to do anything. Gabi's got it instead. This time, Big convert the second round. Remember, they won last pistol. They went down 2-1. Now on CT side, they can hold their own, but not a lot of purchasing going into the last round for Vitality. And as such, we've got AK-47s. So many changes. Like, we used to talk about lack of change in Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
My mind is like melting right now because we went from a major economic change, which we've done now again, to AUGs coming in, to Vertigo coming in. So,
Right.
like, next year we could be playing Counter-Strike 2. That's all I'm going to say. Like,
coming.
change is coming, guys.
Ooh, does he get away? No. No, he does not. Tabson blasts ZywOo to smithereens, thanks to the flash of God B. Little icing on the cake. Mr. Schmidt gives chase through bathrooms. There's nobody here, in fact. Closest player is going to be that one positioned up on long. Tabson with the scout. Reeling his way backwards to join his leader, Gobby. Still working this MP7. Already has like 4 kills on it in the previous round anti-eco. Now what can he do? At least catching NBK, but the flashbangs rain over and the frags go the way of Vitality. Even keeled to the 3-3. They're going to go for the boost over the wall. Try to obscure this bomb plant, but it's over on truck, so it's certain to go down, just like RPK. At least that boost still nets them a man advantage, a little bit more to work with, not to mention we've got that health disadvantage of Alex playing against the French.
But he's been very clever with it because he's gotten very close on an off angle inside of the smoke. Sontaras is predicting it, but couldn't find it. That gives Alex the shot. Now he can vanish inside of the stairs. Apex does the rest out front.
Beautiful. Just drawing big inwards on the retake. I love that you get that ZywOo positioning close towards bank. Xanterra's so close to predicting that close corner. And if that happens, then it's a 3v1 versus Apex. He's not able to kind of, skewer and crossfire those rushing players because he would have been all on his own. So, little detail wins the battle. Gets Vitality their round. Buyback from Big. Double MP9, AUG, AWP, M4. What's that leave them with? Plenty of utility. And a solo Xanterra's inside of Connector. NBK walks around and gets the best of him. He didn't even land a shot. No damage done. Alex and ZywOo just tear straight through the short control, and B bomb site is open for the taking. This round is done.
Absolutely so. And save required if you're Big. You've got an AWP. You've got an AUG, so we get back to within 1. This one's going to go the distance. There's no question this series was going to be close. Proving to be exactly that so far. The lights will go out in Shanghai before this series ends.
Do they turn them off at night?
Yeah, so if you're, well, not like every single light in the city, but like the main skyline when you're on the Bund looking over toward the Pearl and the tower, and they shut those down I think at like 11:30 maybe, I can't remember. It's like 11:30, 12, somewhere in there.
I mean, that's reasonable.
Yeah, it's crazy though because all those people are like thousands of people, like too many people, and they shut them off and it's just like boom, everyone's gone. It's like that's one way to do crowd control.
Get them out of here. I'm used to Montreal where things don't turn off.
No, that's true. In fact, they don't turn on until well after midnight.
Yeah.
If I know anything about Montreal.
It's when things turn on and turn up. Like Vitality have in these most recent rounds, closing the gap and nearly securing themselves double digits, looking to join their big brothers on the other side of the coin, who still hold on to, of course, the 2 weapons saved from the previous round. Take note of that. The AUG and the AWP, and a heavy presence towards this B bomb site. 4 members immediately. And because Xanterra saw nothing towards A, he's going to fall back slightly. Not too far, as to still keep that first warning sign. But we saw a round like this won by Vitality when they were on the CT side, directly following the first pistol. So you cannot sleep on the close corners of this B bomb site. And the boost! Oh, the boost! It's so good!
He goes back for it. I wasn't sure Gobby was going to. He actually was just up on the wooden boards, not even boosted up at the wall. That was just fortunate timing to catch off. He was spotted, but as soon as he realized and shot back, and he went for the second kill. Balls on him to do so. 75 HP survives with ZywOo, though. They haven't accounted for this. His teammate's going to take the angle. That's going to give him a clean entry, but he was a little bit over-committed away from the window. Still pulls it back, keeps his aim in line, and suddenly the advantage back to them. Smokes down, Molotov deep. This puts Gompy trapped in the corner, nowhere to go. Zantara's already trying to rotate back around toward him as well. And do they go for this at 11-9? AWP picked up for Zantara. That might be their signaling to get out, because there's no kits.
Yeah, they're done.
That's so spectacular from ZywOo. Great timing. They just overlooked Monster altogether. Gets around, gets a flash, but nearly missed because he was overcommitting to the further player away. But then identifies that and gets both. It's fine to identify and get one. I would have called that acceptable. The fact that he snapped back to window again was just incredible.
Such a narrow angle to be trying to hit that shot, and sure enough, he does it. I hope that's what we've got queued to the replay. No, the boost, even better.
It was a boost. You're right. He was forward of the boards, wasn't he?
Look at this. Third bullet in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom! Right between the eyes. Fare thee well. And I do think that if the follow-up Molotov with smoke combo up in the heavens wasn't there, then maybe we get a re-aggression. AUG and an AWP in the heaven, peering down into the bomb site. Tantalizing. But, alas, we are back into the gun rounds for both sides, and this looks like a heavy B. Tizian's going to have to be laying down that flashbang, but he himself was blinded, so he's overwhelmed immediately. Zantara's just shy inside of the water, looks away, bad timing for him, and RPK gives cover. Despite the damage going back the way of Vitality, they pick up every single kill on that B bomb site, and they force the same situation, two-man save.
That next flash needed to come sooner.
Yeah.
Zantara's was waiting to get flashed in. He wasn't even looking to dodge theirs, and unfortunately it just wasn't in position in time. And he gets absolutely wrecked. That gives up the round. Nothing they can even do at this point. They'll save the AUG and the AWP again, and they can't even really afford to be aggressive. Thankfully, Alex will give himself up, but that just confirms exactly where they both are. They can afford to just go hunting at this point.
Yeah, the French are coming. Tabson's angle should cut down anyone from spawn who actually don't want to force this fight. It's going to be only Apex to try his hand. And unsuccessful.
Oh, I thought Gabi was going to get him. He didn't. That would have been cheeky. Last bullet shot in the round.
Let's take a pause. Catch your breath.
Okay.
ZywOo's still up there. I mean, it's almost to be expected at this point, right?
Man, the guy is just ZywOo, simple, cold Zera.
Sergey? Or are you not
Twist.
sold?
I need an in-game leader, don't I?
Okay, I wasn't sure what you were listing.
Fallen.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
That's a very,
There
very
you go.
good choice.
That's my dream. That's my super team.
You know who I would maybe put in there for IGL?
Who?
Little Alexi B.
You are really on the end type, aren't you?
I mean, my voice may or may not be in their music kit.
Oh, okay, I get it. Are you getting royalties for that? Yeah. They wouldn't give caster packs, but they'll just go ahead and fire that one out there. You're not bitter. Hashtag not bitter, Val. Yeah, I mean, Alexi B, I'm not discrediting him at all. He's done a phenomenal job in his role, considering his age and what they're working with and how they've risen to such great success. But yeah, Fallen's just tried and true.
He's legendary.
Good push in the underpass. Problem is, in doing so, and that occupation has left B-side wide open, aside from sandbags, and I don't think they're fully aware of it. They've smoked off Tizian. Unfortunately, the smoke alone does mean that even if he was there trying to be clever the whole time, they're eventually going to look, because if he rotated back, the smoke would be about the same timing, about 15 seconds. So the element of surprise was long lost. But the bomb is as well. It's down inside a pit, and Tabson, he's picked up the AWP, brought it over, and brought this down to a one-on-one. RPK still has to clutch this back. And Vitality looked comfortable, finally. It suddenly is anything but. Tabson's gone to the window as well. AWP up here. This could be huge. Oh, or is it RPK? Second shot, Tabson tried to re-peek. I think he walked into it.
No head armor, I believe. So the one
you
bullet
can hear it.
death.
Just
yeah. The skull pop.
So graphic.
But regardless, I mean, damn big. That was a hell of an attempt on that B bomb site. all things considered. Just getting the best of Vitality, who went in on an execution, didn't seem to expect too much once they saw that it was relatively clear, but Big, they just rotated in so fast and just threw themselves against the wall that eventually something stuck. Couldn't finish it, however. tabseN back on the op. As the door gets blown open, now has to consider both avenues. So he'll smoke off one, and then consider the third. That possibility of an aggressive A setup, but Vitality, not the case. They are very patient here in the 23rd round. There it is.
We snapped to it so quickly.
Just opened up all the options for tabseN, you know, kind of put him in the center, realized that he wasn't being pressured from any avenue, and he just kept his head on a swivel long enough to get the 5v4. Now we've got Vitality wasting utility, not that they realize, because he is gone.
Got to clear those corners, though, and this will give them back a little bit of map control. Apex gone with RPK and Alex tagged. Finally, Big looking to stabilize at 45 seconds to go in the rounds. Spot drop. They've got 3 more smokes yet to work with. I take that back. I think one's in the air now, as well as a few flashes. Incendiary still to work on the site, but that's if they get them deployed in time, because already they're losing men. NBK with 3 on the entry. He is a natural-born killer. And he might just take the round back, because suddenly it goes from a 5-on-4 to a 4-on-2, and he's done all the work.
And that's it. That's all we've had from Vitality at times. Just such a successful endeavor in opening up a round that they're leaving the remnants of Big to save instead. This is the 3rd time at least where we have 2 survivors on the CTs just trying to hold on to guns. Vitality swift on their execution. Cleaned the commitment. Making things difficult for Big. This T-side starting to tear its part away. Really is just NBK. I mean, superb entry in that round. And every once in a while, that's what you're going to get out of Nathan. Kind of like an Apex, you know? Can win a game single-handedly at times, but you just shouldn't expect it to be consistent considering his role. And NBK, the exact same. But when it happens, oh, is it a thing of beauty? So the B site has fumbled once more. What's going to be the implications of this? How's Big's money? I see a vocal Gob B.
He tends to do that during timeouts.
Well, now he's rehydrating, which is also just important.
Yeah, get it in there. You're still bloated from the plane, still dehydrated.
Okay, speaking of water in the plane, this is the first time on a plane where I asked the stewardess for water to fill my water bottle. You know, I don't like to waste cups.
Sure.
So, please, ma'am, would you mind filling this? And she did it about 3 times until she finally just handed me
the entire bottle,
the 1.5 liter of bottle, and just said, "Here you go, sweetheart. Do it yourself."
Was it the one with the glasses?
Yes.
Yeah, she was really funny.
Yeah, it was her.
I went back to the back, and she was like, "This coffee's stale. Let me get you some new one."
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, perfect. That's what I like to hear. Just all the coffee, please." Yes. Well, back to it.
Fresh-faced and rehydrated. Big. Not too refreshing of a look here. Double Deagle 5-7, lackluster nades. But they've got that double AUG. And we saw tabseN nearly win a round when all they had was 2 primary weapons. So let's see if they can do it yet again. Oh, the players have moved past him. He doesn't realize. And Alex turns back just in time to grab 1, but Gob B grabs nearly 3. Apex challenging the A site and getting the best of him. Zanteres does have the chance to reposition closer, but just that Deagle in hand. Where's the AUG? It's on Tizian. And he's that last rotator, the man coming around through bank. Next, burned off of Dumpster. Zanteres wants to activate as now that 1 weapon's down. He could stop the planter. Does he do it? No!
Oh,
he gets the kill. But too slow.
Yeah, he got him right after. I thought he actually had a chance to fire at the shoulder. Maybe spam through with the Deagle, but he's looking for that one-hit wonder. The problem is now they're outside of the smoke, and as soon as he couldn't find the planter and the bomb was down, they knew exactly what they had to do. Just hold it long. No need to overstep, and it's 14-10. Remember, Big lead on the T side at half. Vitality just killing it this half. There's 8-7. Big got 2. Vitality's got a bunch maths in a row. 7 in a row. Nailed it.
Well done.
Thanks, man.
This is just going to be a B explode, unless the smoke scares them off, but it doesn't seem likely. Although Big already have that heavy presence inside of short, so if Tizian can skewer this, they'll have themselves a fantastic crossfire. How much can they hold? Wow, nice headshot. And it's only that one frag grenade kill of NBK that really gets anything going for Vitality. A team kill amidst it all makes things look scary for only a moment, but it's Tizian with 4 frags, 3 of which against his enemies, to get Big that 11th round. So 3-point difference. Vitality, plenty of cash though. They're going to be content to still buy until they can close this. Luckily for Big, they've survived that first economic storm and find themselves well equipped as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we just get guns and more guns until this first map closes. Hits the mark.
Yep. Sometimes it's a little bit...
It's one of those nades you got to keep an eye on.
Yeah, most people get that one pretty accurately, like more so than people even miss in the window in Mirage, but sometimes I'm not sure until I see it hit. That one looked a little low. It'll do, donkey.
Ooh, nice
So will
spam.
that from Zontares. After winning the last round, they want to step up in this one. And Vitality find themselves a man down early. Now, don't let that dissuade you. Because, remember, they were last time, and NBK found 3 in a row. The problem is they've lost a lot more HP as RPK gets sprayed. And Apex controls Monster. He gets Tizian down and wants to rotate off this. If he can keep them playing, if he can keep them moving on the B site, that buys space on A for his teammates. Space in which it appears Alex wants to investigate.
Oh, man, I'm a much bigger fan of the way Apex plays a T-side Monster and B-site than he does on the CT side. We saw this same thing, you know, getting aggressive and whatnot.
That kill on Alex actually benefits Team Vitality, though, because they just discovered the ops on A.
Right.
They haven't seen the other player. The second that came in, the bomb was waiting the whole time at water. He just goes, right, I'm over to board B. Done. So now they're inside of the site and they have the advantage. It's low HP, but they're up against an AWP, which doesn't matter what they're working with. If they hit shots or get hit, it's all the same result. And now they've got the information for exactly where Godby's coming from. Double up that Molotov, buy some more time. That's all they need to do at this point, ride this out. Godby does have a kit, keep that in mind.
He's got that smoke as well if he wants to nullify short. Could go for the desperate spray, but instead he'll walk away with that op in hand. So this, to me, goes back to, like, remember when Apex plays that B bomb site CT side? At times he kind of walks through Monster, I would argue, too aggressively. But you get these sorts of players, you know, they play the same position on both halves, they play this side of the map, and I think that this is a prime example of when it goes well. He just creeps his way out of Monster, gets that one pick on the B bomb site, knowing, of course, that the players from Big that were inside of short who had just successfully sprayed into connector were definitely going to be retreating. So he finds that timing, that transition period, and then goes one better. And then another. I mean, a 4K on the round. Almost the ace as he challenges through that final Molotov. But just repositions so passively back behind barrels. Re-aggresses again inside of their face over and over. You know, we had NBK tear through that B site just a couple rounds ago with a multi-frag of his own, and this time it's Apex's.
Yeah, and Zontares get caught out hard there as well. So they get one round and then they get hit. I was about to say with the reset, it's not the same anymore. I know.
Yeah,
it's going to take me a while to get used to this, and it's something I actually want to pay close attention to. In theory, we should have more gun rounds, but we also potentially have... This case is different because neither team had the money established.
Yeah.
So it's not like a reset potential is a massive thing here, but potentially less comebacks. So right now at 15-11... If Big 1-1 and then reset Vitality, or vice versa was reset, they'd be out of it. This time, it goes both ways, I guess, because now Big has a chance to buy again and be back into it, whereas before they would have just been broken and crumbled. I've got to look at it more closely, because there's a lot of theory crafting that people have gone into the new money system, but I need to see it play out.
Big. They've been conditioned to hit up this B site heavy. Spam's been great at times. Smoke goes down to block off the boardwalk. An additional smoke from Zywoo. Should be effective on barrels, but Tabson, well, he's going to play just next to the pillar, peeks into the scope of Zywoo, and this is going to be an aggressive gunfight to the end. 2v2, turn 2v1 with just Gob B standing. And he's going to rotate in from Graffiti, but, oh, Matt, they forgot the bomb. it's going to have to cross back.
It's going to have to cross back against an AWP in Godby's hands, which isn't always the...
Oh, it goes the long way.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
That still comes with a risk of watching window, but he'll make it work and doesn't reveal himself until now. Molotov down, Godby knows he can swing wide, try and find the angle. If RPK goes back up, he could give himself up, and if he hunts down to try and deny this bomb plant, that's exactly when Apex gets the kill.
Yeah.
Done. Game over. It's going to be a Vitality taking map 116-11. Great turn of events for them on the T side. Remember, they were down 8-7 at half, 10-7. The lowest they fell, and then they turn it all around.
Impressive. I mean, justified here on Overpass. This is what we'd hoped from Vitality. We said that they had that bit of momentum as of late, that they had good form, and they definitely showed it throughout that second half. I mean, just took control of the game, cracked open that B site, even to the point where we had in this final round of 4 players stack up from big. I mean, they knew what they had to do in terms of a defense, but it was a matter of holding the line as opposed to dropping the ball, and that's what we saw. The balls.
They were very dropped. Yeah. Look, I think Vitality was my favorite going into that, but coming out the way that they did after the first half, I wasn't super convinced. Yeah. I think that they struggled, like you said, to get the establishment and control of bathrooms. Once they got that op moving, once they got Zywoo on, like, whoa, what a different game that was. Even though they didn't win that half, you could just see how aggressive he was being and how dynamic he was being. I think if they could establish that money a little bit earlier, get him onto the op, he held the AK, you probably find, I would say, 2 to 3 more rounds, and that game's closed a lot sooner. So even still, a 16-11 coming back from the depths of a CT side, that's pretty impressive.
I'm impressed. It's what we've come to expect, I think, with Vitality, right? A little bit of form here in StarSeries showing that they do still compete. But, folks, that's just map 1. We've got the second coming your way shortly. You better not go too far.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Case. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.